Welcome to another episode of TeeVo The Beard.
You can't see us, but I'm TeeVo, and that is The Beard.
And today we're going to be talking about S.H.I.E.L.D, of course.
Yes.
And Supergirl, which is finally back.
Finally came back.
Finally.
With the... I laughed. I'm going to be honest, I laughed.
Yeah.
I said, of course you would come back from a 2-month break with a filler.
Yes. Yes, but...
Not an insane filler,
no.
But let's just say throughout most of it, you're like, yeah, I don't really need to see this, but I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, and it was a Win-centric episode, which we haven't really had.
Not really.
Yeah, so, but we'll...
And with the lovely guest, Laurie Metcalf.
Yes, but we'll get into all that momentarily. Of course, we're going to start with an icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
So, the summer is coming up. We're going to both see Infinity War,
yes.
of course,
yes.
and review that. But besides that, what summer movie are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, so when you asked me this before we started recording, I was like, I'm going to try to steer away from the big tentpole, like, sequel stuff. So
Which is almost everything coming out this summer.
Most everything,
yeah.
But, like, those movies will be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to take this little icebreaker to inform people of movies that may fly a little under the radar.
Okay.
The ones that are obviously not going to win the box office, obviously, and I know that. I will be seeing them because, But things like Jurassic World 2, Ant-Man 2, Deadpool 2...
Mamma Mia 2.
They're going to be seen.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be seeing them as well. Yeah, but, the movies are like, well, yeah, so are you and other...
Right.
A billion other people. So I got 3 that I would like to say that I'm also interested in seeing.
Okay.
One of which is a movie called Action Point.
Okay.
It is a movie filmed in the style of Jackass, from the creators of Jackass.
Okay.
Kind of like the people who did Bad Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
And that it was a story for most people who thought it was just a big, long joke. Yes, it was. But there was an actual plot to it.
Right.
They just filmed these real... Like, it was candid camera, but with an actual, film plot in it.
It's a plot, but the extras don't know they're extras.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This one is not really like that, but what they do is they film Jackass-style stunts.
Okay.
In the films, like, where there's an actual stunt, ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, we're actually endangering ourselves doing this.
Okay.
Much like when they did Jackass.
Yeah.
I only want to see this because I was a big fan of Jackass.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're funny. Mm-hmm. It's kind of one of those personal things.
Yeah.
What the heck ever.
Right, yeah.
I want to see it. But, the story actually does look funny in its own way.
Okay.
The other one, for time's sake, I'll just name one more that I feel strongly about seeing.
Okay.
Is The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon play... I don't even know what. It's just the trailer. I just don't know how to describe it. I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm seeing that.
Is it one of those that got you with the actors?
First off, got me noticing, and then the jokes, they obviously shown the trailer. You got to put your best ones in there.
Right.
Hey, but they got me. It looks funny. It looks like an hour and a half that I will spend having fun.
Right.
And, beyond like the big tentpole movies, that's really what you need.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna grab a hold of one of the tent poles here. One that I would definitely like to see in theaters, because I did not see the first one in theaters, but did enjoy it, is Jurassic World. So I want to see the sequel. It is one of those where if I do have to wait for digital or Blu-ray or whatever, it won't be the end of the world. But I didn't see the first one in theaters because I thought it was going to be a waste of money.
Right.
I mean, I enjoy Chris Pratt. I enjoy CGI dinosaurs and all that.
Do you enjoy Bryce Dallas Howard?
Sometimes. I enjoy Jeff Goldblum more, though. So even if he plays a very small cameo in the sequel, it would be worth the price of admission for me. It was worth it in Ragnarok. So this is one, though, where I would like to see it in theaters, because one thing that I did miss by waiting to watch it on digital was the size of the spectacle. So, you still have the great graphics, the dinosaurs, all that.
Yes.
But you don't have the same feel as when you're sitting there in the theater with the seat vibrating and all that. To take a recent movie as an example, Black Panther.
Right.
With the, again, to give no spoilers, because it's still in theaters. There are still people seeing it.
Not many.
Not many. But there's a big battle scene in there where, if you see it on TV, it's still going to be cool.
Yeah.
But seeing it in theaters, I mean, my seat was literally vibrating the entire time. You felt like you were part of the action. So
Yes.
I'd like
And
to
for
see...
those who missed it, don't worry. From what the trailers of Infinity War show, we'll be back in Wakanda.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So don't feel bad, people.
So yeah, I'll help hold up one of the tent poles while you're
Oh, don't worry.
servicing the smaller ones.
Oh, don't worry. I'm seeing.
Mhm.
It's for you. I know it's more of a special treat,
Right.
to go to the movies.
Right.
For me, it is a regular thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I didn't want to do the big sequels, because duh,
Yeah.
seeing them. But for me, I guess it's a little more out of the norm for most people to see like the smaller movies, because those are the ones people will say, oh well, I'll wait for that to come out.
Yeah, because
later.
The two you mentioned, I had only heard of 50% of them.
Yeah.
And it was a spy that dumped me was the only one I had heard of prior to this.
Well, you don't strike me as someone who'd be a fan of the first thing I mentioned anyway. So
It's true. I mean, I've seen them, but it's been one of those where it's like it happens to be on TV or something, and I'll watch it. But yeah, I'm not one of those people that's against Johnny Knoxville and all that. Who is actually a surprisingly good actor in his own right.
Yeah.
When he does actual acting.
well, I mean, to run around the country wherever they film Bad Grandpa to people to still be somewhat mistaken for an old man. I think that's
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I'm not gonna say compare it to anything, but let's just say it's still pretty awesome on its own.
Yeah. Before we get into our normal thing, so I'm not bringing up Cardi B this time.
I don't have anything to say.
I have something to say about another starlet.
Oh yeah?
Yes, and I'm sure you are aware of her as well, and you actually do like her. So I saw the new video for Ariana Grande.
Yes.
The No More Tears to Cry or No More Crying, whatever it's called.
Right.
Have you seen the video?
I have.
As somebody who isn't necessarily a fan of pop music per se, I can take it or leave it. I would recommend the video to people because I think it's a very well done video. Not so much choreography, but just aesthetically, the visuals that they do. It's very artistic.
Well, if you want to get into the nitty gritty of Ariana Grande, for me.
Whoa! I'm not. It's a family friendly show.
Well, for me, her power is her voice.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when she first started becoming a solo artist, she wanted to showcase her voice.
Right.
Cool. I don't know who made her dance, but let's just say she's not for me, it's not as smooth as some of her other contemporaries.
Right.
When they do like dance numbers.
Mm-hmm.
One song in particular when she performed live was a song called Focus. Yeah, that's right, people. I know about the Grande.
Oh yeah, no.
And I just thought, this seems so unnatural for you. So it's just when you say there's not choreography, it's like she's one where it's like
it's fine.
We don't need it.
Right.
There are some that you have to bring the pizzazz, you have to bring the showman.
Mm-hmm.
Her, no, we're fine. Just sing.
Yeah, I was surprised at how artistic the video is though, because a lot of pop videos are mostly just bright colors and flashing lights. Now this one still has the flashing lights.
Yes.
But it has it. I would not have been surprised if at the end it said directed by MC Escher. Even Mrs. Beard enjoyed it, and she's not a huge fan of Grande. Though she did used to watch her in Sam and Cat on Nickelodeon.
I was about to say, I don't think Mrs. Beard is in the demographic.
No.
So that's not really. To me, it's like, well,
we barely are, but I know you are a fan of some of the starlets out there.
Even I don't think I'm in the demographic.
No, but you're definitely in the in a fan seat.
Yes.
When it comes to some of them. So, but I think that's about it for our icebreaker and pop culture updates.
What are you saying? But are you telling people they need to see this?
Oh yeah.
Video.
I mean, yeah. Even if you don't really care for her singing or her music or anything like that, as misogynistic as it may sound to talk about a female singer, you could watch this video on mute and enjoy it. but that really is for the artistic aesthetic appeal. Basically, everything happening behind and around Miss Grande.
All right.
So,
Well, that's that.
we're going to take a quick break and then talk about Supergirl and S.H.I.E.L.D.
Excuse me, spoiler alert!
And we're back. So, as you mentioned before we got onto our other topics, the big guest star for this episode of Supergirl was Laurie Metcalf.
Yes.
Who I am a fan of from the few times she's been on Big Bang Theory, but mostly from Roseanne.
Okay.
So,
Side note, are you actually watching Roseanne now?
I am.
Okay.
I am, and I'm enjoying it.
Good.
I'm enjoying her in it also, but I'm enjoying the show as a whole.
Good.
So it surprised me though, because I did not read any synopsis or anything like that.
Well, I knew a long time ago they announced that Laurie Metcalf will be in an episode.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when you take a 2-month break, most of the stuff you said that was going to happen, you forget.
Right.
So I didn't forget, but I forgot.
Right. So when she showed up on there,
Yes.
I had no doubt who she was playing. I mean, because she tends to play a mom, aunt, maternal role type thing. So, why they waited so long within the episode for when to call her mom, I was kind of surprised on.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess if you're not familiar with her as an actress, it could have been a reveal.
Right.
But when I saw her there, I was like, oh, Wynn's mom. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. She shows up at the funeral of the toy maker, who is Wynn's father.
Right.
Or I guess we can now say was Wynn's father. And hilarity ensues. No.
Well, I mean...
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Action definitely ensues. Like you mentioned earlier, it was a filler episode.
It really was.
Which was a surprise.
Was a surprise because, how we judge the CW filler episodes is...
Mm-hmm.
Did the A plot or the majority of the plot serve the long story?
Right.
That
Did it move anything along?
And if the answer is no,
Mhm.
filler.
And this was a resounding no.
Yes.
I was talking to one of our fans earlier about this episode, and he suggested, and I tend to agree, that maybe the writers didn't realize there would be a month-long break in between the last episode and this one. Because this would not be, like, let's say this was the normal winter break.
Right.
Or this was the beginning of a new season. This is not how they would have started it.
True. And they had a winter break. That's why when they went away, we're like, wait, excuse me, you just came back.
Well, for some reason, CW feels the need to make room for Valor, which
And
may or may
Legends.
not... Well, yeah, but Legends at least got renewed. Valor's still not renewed yet.
But, the scheduled move, what took over the time slot.
Right, yeah.
And it's the same thing I said earlier. It's like, you have these four, at these four powerful CW shows, DC CW shows.
Yeah.
You're telling me you can't pack it all in one week?
Right, yeah. I mean, there's 5 days worth of viewing, because I know you're not going to do it on Saturday and Sunday, but
Right.
you have 4 shows, 5 days. Each show's only an hour long. I'm not even good at math, and I can figure this one out. Monday through Thursday, done. Do them all at 8 p.m. Was there anything that stood out to you in this episode, though? Besides the very end, where we do actually get a good teaser for next week.
The only thing that's really stood out to me were there's obviously something powerful going to happen in the next couple episodes.
Yeah.
With, Jean's father suffering basically Martian Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how long it's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
I did read ahead, and that's going to be a central focus on one episode, but
Mm-hmm.
will they solve it in that one? Probably.
Yeah, yeah.
In CW
Rainbows
fashion,
and puppy dogs.
they'll probably solve it in that fashion.
Mhm.
Or at least that won't be a driving kind of thread through the end.
Right.
But if it is, I think it's going to be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
As a solid, go to C, B plot here and there.
Yeah.
The other thing that stood out just for the somewhat anticlimactic thing was, so before they went away,
Yeah.
the last thing we saw was Saturn Girl telling Mon-El, we didn't land here on an accident. there's a reason why we're here.
Bum bum bum.
And, could be sinister things, but I thought, well, it can't be. This is Brainiac 5 and Saturn. This is a Legion superhero. They're very known good guys.
I thought, though, it was at least going to be something in the gray area.
Yeah. Not really.
No.
The only thing gray was that she lied.
Yeah.
But
it was possibly even an avoidable lie, because basically she lied because she thought Mon-El might not want to go to that time period. Yeah. So...
But the amount of times that he had to say sorry to Supergirl in this episode to recap last season was, okay, we get it. You lied. You've been lied to.
Let's move on.
She clearly has moved on. Let's move on. Because clearly you have a bad guy to fight. So that's it. Any stray observation from you? Because honestly, I was glad that it came back. Yeah. I was glad to have something to watch on Mondays again. Yeah. But, when I was watching it, I just I didn't really take much from it.
Well, the main thing that stuck out to me was I forgot how in your face the Supergirl Justice Warrior writers are. So, with S.H.I.E.L.D., they'll make comments about things.
And only really recently.
Yeah. But even then, though, you still have to go like, oh, okay. Because I'm sure there's some that we're missing.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah. But they're like, oh, you're talking about that. Okay. Yes. Where Supergirl goes, okay, we're going to talk about racism right here. Yes. And we're going to tell you we're talking about racism and the problems with it. Yes. It's like, it was a bit...
Well, I don't...
More on the nose than...
Well, again, I didn't watch season 1. Still haven't. So I don't know what they did on season 1. Yeah. But I remember when I first started tuning in season 2, I noticed it pretty heavily. Yeah. And, given the time period when season 2 was airing, we won't get into that. Yeah. For those who are interested, it's in the other episodes. But I noticed it immediately. I was like, wow, they're really going there on certain things.
And it makes sense. I'm definitely not faulting them for it.
No.
It just kind of...
It's a definite observation.
Yeah, it just kind of threw me off course a little bit because... I forgot that they did that.
That's what happens when you take a 2-month break.
Right. So,
but I will say I agree on that one because, obviously you're talking about the scene when they're discussing why they chose the form they chose. And I too thought, wow, we're really going there. Yeah. Okay.
And the fact that she used, African American in terms like that, instead of literally saying, why did you choose this form or this, these people to be, no, she was like, no, why'd you choose to be black? Yep. It's like, okay, Alex, let's reel it back in a little bit here. All in all, though, it was a
solid episode. Yeah. I mean, I liked it. Just, I guess the big punch, because when any show comes back from a break, they need to open it up with something big to remind people, hey, this is why you're watching a show. Right. I think Laurie Metcalf was that thing.
She was.
Which is fine.
I do want to see more of her in it, and I'm hoping that there's something she's not telling us.
Well, considering most people don't guest star in these shows is because they film in another country. Yeah. I personally think that's all we'll see of this Metcalf for a while. But like you, I hope we get something else.
And I was really hoping that at the very end, because they're karaokeing on and off throughout the episode, which could have been done so much better since you do have actual actors on there that can sing. Yes. A la Supergirl.
And Win. Yeah. And I think all of them.
Yeah, and none of them were doing their best at all. The last song that went...
Charlotte Lee has songs out on iTunes, so we know she can sing.
Yeah. So Win and his mom were singing at the very end. Yes. I would have paid extra, which for a free show, anything's extra.
Oh, but that just means how serious you are.
Yeah. If they would have done... Are you familiar with the original Roseanne series?
Barely.
Okay, well, at one point, the theme song went from the instrumental theme song to a blues traveler singing a song to that theme song. Okay. And I would have loved if that would have been what they were karaokeing to, and then Supergirl say something like, where'd they get this song from? And then just close out like that. So
they don't want to reference things are Roseanne, but social issues, they hold no bars.
Right, yeah. We won't reference other shows that have social issues, but we'll do it ourselves. Yeah. Yeah. No, but I was like, that would have been a perfect little Easter egg to to put in there.
Mhm.
But no, it was still good. With the on next week's Supergirl little teaser,
Yes.
definitely has me wanting to come back.
Yes.
You know?
They only release this coming up episode synopsis and the next one.
Yeah.
So beyond that, it's a mystery to me.
And that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to be in the dark. Yeah. So, but speaking of being in the dark, let's move on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Where it got dark a lot.
It got very dark.
Okay, so
I keep
holds barred.
forgetting that we're on ABC.
No holds bar, full spoiler.
Yep.
So I was saying to someone, and possibly could have said to you on last week's episode,
Mhm.
don't remember.
Yeah.
But I'm an avid, looking up future synopsi.
Right.
And while CW sometimes lets me know slightly more than I should,
Mhm.
ABC Marvel does not.
Mhm.
They'll put it out there, but sometimes it literally is stuff happens. Here's
Right.
who's in it. And
Yeah.
sometimes if it's from one really, really important, they will omit that one from, because I think there is an obligation to show who is the guest star in it.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it's really, really important, i.e. both times Deathlock has come in,
Mhm.
sometimes they leave certain people out.
Yeah.
First surprise.
Yeah.
Good.
Of course. Yeah.
But what I noticed after this week, they released the synopsis for the episode releasing after Infinity War.
Right.
And I noticed that episode and the one previous being the one coming up on the same day Infinity War comes out,
Mhm.
there is no Ruby.
Right.
And I was just like, huh.
It was
Well,
confusing.
we'll see the one, her missing one episode, she's done that.
Right.
So missing the one that happens on Infinity War, no big deal.
Yeah.
But then I noticed the next one, still no. However, there is Hail.
Right.
And I was just like,
So Hell makes it through Infinity War, but what happens to Ruby?
well, my main thing was, so the synopsis for, the one we watched, the one that we're talking about right now, seems somewhat, in a vague way that ABC Marvel can only do, definitive towards Ruby's plan.
Right.
And boy, was that right!
Yeah. So Ruby is getting hooked up to gravitonium.
Yes.
She only gets 8% of it, though.
Yes.
Thankful for that universe, she only gets 8% because
Yes.
what she does with that is powerful enough.
Yes.
She can literally squish your head.
Yes.
Not just in the old kids in the hall routine.
When she did that to Von Strucker,
Mhm.
I said, well, the first time that something terrible happened to him, we were like, wow,
Yeah.
he's probably gone. And then he came back, we're like, yay, hey,
Yeah.
you didn't die. This one's like, oh,
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get a bicycle pump out and inflate his head there.
you're gone there.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, one of those scenes where I was like, okay, is this ABC or is this on cable somewhere?
Even though it wasn't as graphic or well made as it, if they had $1 bajillion,
It wasn't a Tarantino movie.
it was still graphic enough.
Yeah. It was still his head being smashed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still graphic enough.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things I just wanted to immediately comment on.
Yeah. And Ruby has the ability to float.
Yes. If anything, she is, I think she was a version of Graviton, really.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Graviton at 8%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, to Von Strucker, is 8% more than he needed.
Right. Yeah. So she's got the voices in her head.
Yes.
Thanks to the gravitonium.
Thanks to Gravitonium. But, it's not like, oh, gee, it's not like someone else already said that.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, they didn't really set it up as a surprise or anything like that.
No.
They are affecting her a little
Yes.
bit more because they're actually speaking through her.
Yes.
So I thought they were going to go a little bit more with that. Of course, I thought maybe they'd go a little bit more with her. I do like the line where Daisy is saying that she would make a good agent.
Yes.
Because right when Daisy said that, I was like, called it. I knew they would end up fitting her into the S.H.I.E.L.D. world.
I was still on the notion because of the, my looking at future snaps. I was like, well, that helps the Beards thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's gonna.
And then when Yo-Yo...
Things seem very finite.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this was somewhat of a if this was like a break, you know, the one where they go on a break for a bit,
Right.
I mean, it felt like it.
Yeah.
They're not, of course,
Yeah.
but, you know, it felt like it.
And then Yo-Yo walks in, and I looked at Mrs. Beard, and I was like, oh, she's about to come mess things up. And I meant that in just a very kind of like, you know, nonchalant sort of way. Like she's going to do something that's going to throw off the plan that Quake and Fitzsimmons had. But I meant it like in a, you know, she's going to aim a gun at Hale or something like that, and it's going to throw off what they had going on. I didn't think she was going to go for Ruby.
Well, if I didn't know anything, or if I didn't have a hunch on future episodes, but just the look at her when she said, she's the one that took my arms, like,
yeah.
Oh. She's going to do something.
Right. And I thought maybe she would have taken her arms. You know, arm for an arm. Would have made sense.
Yeah.
So, would you like to tell our audience what she does go for?
Oh, her head.
Yep. And when that happened at first, I thought maybe one of the other people stuck in the gravitonium was trying to come out of her.
I did not. I knew, but just it was still, again, if they didn't get graphic enough with Instructor's head caving in.
Yeah, this was.
This was also very graphic, just because we know Yo-Yo's abilities.
Yeah.
Which I guess doesn't hurt when you're saving the world.
No. Or at least you assume you're saving the world.
Well, if you're trying to prevent a cataclysmic future, doesn't hurt. So we know that she has, super speed.
Right.
So when that slit started happening at Ruby's throat, it was like, oh, did she?
Yeah.
And then it showed
with her own knife.
Yep.
Yep. So I like though, because S.H.I.E.L.D. has done a lot of things in the gray areas before. But with this, similar to like when Fitz did his thing, they're not really taking it. S.H.I.E.L.D's not taking it laying down.
Yeah.
Because Quake's like, what you did is not good. You didn't have to do that.
And on the counterpoint, she's like, no, I did.
Right.
And that brings up more, we're not talking about Cardi B in this one, but we are going to keep talking about time splinters and all that stuff.
I mean, with a show like this, you have to.
Well,
they're putting it out there.
Well, with this season, you have to.
Yeah.
So do you think that helped?
Well,
because the last time, so from what we got when they were in space and the last known footage of Quake, fits very similar to what we've been seeing lately. And that was the moment before she destroyed the world.
Yeah.
And she keeps saying, I don't think I can do that. With someone that's been infused with gravitonium, that's someone that could potentially do that.
Especially if it was more than 8%.
But that person is gone.
Right.
So do you think Yo-Yo helped?
The only reason I don't think so is because in the preview for next week, which we'll talk about a little bit too, we see Deke.
Yes.
So the fact, and Deke was born on the lighthouse in space.
Yes.
Not in the...
So the whole thing we've been saying, when they change it, we might have to say goodbye to Deke.
Yeah, he cannot exist as he currently does because his mom wouldn't have met random space guy
and made a Deke
if they're not in space
and made a Deke.
Yeah, to quote Fitz.
Yeah.
So there's still too much kind of out there.
Okay.
That and it might never have been the quote unquote destroyer of worlds that did it.
That's true.
It could have been some of these other people who are coming.
That's true.
From out of space.
And as we saw, only 8% of gravitonium was in Ruby.
Yes.
There's still a lot more.
Yes. Not good at math, but probably around 92%.
And there is Mr. Creel with some in him too.
Yep.
So there's...
Because even though he's tried to knock himself out, I don't think you can turn yourself into a concrete wall and then knock yourself out with a concrete wall.
Yeah.
I think you need to stay flesh and bone to do that.
Yes.
So he really wasn't thinking clearly.
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's three is a crowd in there.
Yeah, right.
But nonetheless, because, Ruby's out of the picture now. But, there's more.
Yeah. And Mom's still there. So.
Yep.
So while all this is going on.
Yo-Yo should probably, if Yo-Yo really wanted to change stuff, she probably should have, not saying commit double homicide, but.
Yeah, but no, I get it.
No, hey,
And I'm
She was
surprised she
already there.
didn't.
She was already there.
Yeah, because I mean, hell, is a true Hydra agent.
Yes.
She is not swaying from that one bit. She believes what Hydra does is right.
Yes.
So Yo-Yo could have been like,
Well, there
two
was
birds, one knife.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was reading a couple things similar to what we do.
Mhm.
A couple stray observations is if Hale, because Hale has never presented her as the enemy. So I like
Right.
your point when she says she believes what Hydra is right and what Hydra is doing is right.
Mhm.
She doesn't shy away from that.
No.
But what she hasn't conveyed as past Hydra agents in the show have done is carry out in a uber antagonistic way.
Right.
She was just like,
she's not Nazi Hydra.
no.
Right.
She's just like, hey, mine's right. It's not your right, but
Right.
I'm not saying yours is wrong.
Exactly.
So in some ways, while if we had to pick a bad guy, Hale is sure the bad guy.
Right.
She
Yeah.
never carried herself that way. She will be now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You've messed with Mama Bear's cub, and yeah, all bets are off.
Yeah, she will be now.
So while all this is going on, our sleeper cell
Yes.
is walking around. Talbot is not doing nice things.
No. And
And I don't like that because I like Talbot now.
but you know what? Darn that Adrian Pazdar because every time we've seen other people under compliance,
Mhm.
they've not been as fun.
No.
It's been
And once they're under compliance, it's like, no, they're gone. Fine, whatever. But with Talbot, it's like, come back to us.
Just the things he was muttering to himself is like, I know this is not good, but darn you for making it entertaining.
Red rum. Yeah.
Entertaining as all heck.
Yeah. So he kidnaps Ruby.
Yep.
Not Ruby. Robin.
Yeah.
Too many R names.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kidnaps Robin.
Don't forget there's a Ruby in Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too many R names
Yeah.
now. And I like that they didn't stretch that out. I mean, they could have left it at, end of the episode, he still got her. But no, Coulson got her back, gave her to Mac.
Yeah.
Mac ran her off.
Yeah.
Very intense standoff there
Yeah.
between Mac and Coulson and Talbot.
Yeah.
I've been kind of going back and forth on if I want to get to the morbid observation that I made, and I think I'll do it. Yeah, so we're watching it last night, me and Mrs. Beard, and that scene where he's holding Robin,
Mhm.
and he threatens to kill himself because he doesn't want to be under compliance.
No.
He doesn't want to do the things he's doing.
Right.
I'm no expert, but the position he was holding his gun in, more than likely he was going to cause himself physical damage, possibly brain damage, but he would not have killed himself. He would put himself in a situation that he would not have been comfortable in, for sure, but he had it aimed way too far forward.
Mhm.
If he was actually trying to take out his brain stem there, he needed to aim it a little further back. And I was watching that and I was like, oh, I hate that this is going through my head. I want to go out there and just be like, can I move the gun for you? Can I just correct it a little bit? Don't want to see you do it,
Mhm.
but if you're going to do it right,
Mhm.
because you don't want to be in this pain
Mhm.
afterwards. And I like the way that scene was ended was from a surprise Mac attack
Mhm.
that I'm not convinced Coulson knew was coming.
Yeah.
He seemed a little bit surprised by it.
The other thing, so I guess I can see why people that are not the S.H.I.E.L.D. team, mostly, May.
Yeah.
From what we hear from the future people with handling Robin.
Hmm.
And this was one of the episodes like, yeah, I get it. I could see why they're just very annoyed with that person around because when Talbot was attacking her mother
Hmm.
and she just stood there,
Yeah.
it was like,
Do something.
oh my God.
Run for help.
I can just see, even though it's her mother
Hmm.
and she has all the patience in the world for her child, given these insane circumstances,
Yeah.
I can just see in that actress' eyes that same thing. Oh my God,
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
Like literally, even if it doesn't help me right now,
Yeah.
literally,
Even if you're just running for your own life.
literally
No.
do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could just see it.
Instead of just standing there like, whenever you're done, Talbot, I'll be ready to be kidnapped.
I kind of, that was kind of the first time I was like, wow, I see why everybody in the future plotted to kill her.
Yeah.
If that's what they had to deal with. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe not morbid, but another stray observation of the Robin Talbot stuff.
Yeah.
Another stray observation I really like. So Deke is just full on smitten now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he is ready to put a limit on that book.
He is. And I'd love the scene when he asked like Coulson and Mac their advice.
Yeah.
And just the answer is like, don't look at me. Last time I saw Yo-Yo, she lied to me and tricked me and locked me in a room. And I'm not willing to talk.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you went to the two worst men for relationship advice, and
should have went to his grandpa.
Should have. Yeah, he's the only one with a successful relationship going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But it just makes you.
He should have went with Bobo.
Yeah, it just makes you love Deke just that much more, though, because it's like, yeah, no, I don't have a crush on her. I don't know what you're talking about. As he's wearing body spray, and
I love that. Like during a big powwow, ready. We're gonna, this is what we're gonna do in this episode. Yeah. I love Max just. Are you wearing body spray?
Yeah. And then he's like, well, what would you do in the future? Oh, I'd take a lemon and put it on her books. Okay, which I did this morning for Mrs. Beard. I gave her a book with a lemon on top.
I love classic S.H.I.E.L.D. team when he's like, that's not a thing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Sure. I kind of want to know the in-universe origins of that now. Why?
Well, and because it's time, I think Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a Doctor Who theory, but it was introduced on Doctor Who. The bootstrap paradox.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the bootstrap paradox?
I'm familiar with the term. Remind me and our audience.
Would you rather you explain it how a textbook would explain it, or how the doctor explained it?
Give us the doctor.
So we have a time traveler who's a big fan of Mozart. So he uses a time machine, goes back to find Mozart. He carries his music with him because he would like to hear, Mozart play it personally, and in some ways get an autograph.
Yeah.
Goes to the time period. Nobody knows who Mozart is. There is no Mozart. So in turn, he's the one who published Mozart's music.
Yeah.
But the question is, who made the music? So I thought the bootstrap paradox and the lemon thing.
Yeah.
Is Deke saying it right now?
And then creating it by saying it?
Yep.
That would make sense. Yeah. No, that would be one time travel thing that would actually make sense for the show. Right there. That's just have that be a thing.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there's at least, a few Doctor Who fans within the writer's room of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, if there are? Well, I mean, they have blatantly mentioned the Doctor before. Remember in season 1 when Patton Oswalt, was questioning everybody, are you a Hydra agent and all that stuff? Yeah. And one of the big questions on the lie detector test was, you have one item on an island, what do you take? And Simmons says, the TARDIS.
Right. But, I mean, that's also her giving the most British answer.
Yes. But I'm sure when this season happened and the head people were like, we're doing time travel, those people were like,
our time has come.
Yeah. That one throwaway line.
Yep.
Now we can really stretch.
So before we close out, I want to talk about the preview for next week.
Yes.
So when we talked about the War of Infinities episode,
as we think,
only
because it's coming out the same day.
Right. But when you said the synopsis is the Scooby Gang here is going to be locked in the lighthouse.
Yes.
I was expecting to kind of have a boring episode.
I was not.
Boring for S.H.I.E.L.D., not boring as in, bad boring.
I knew it was going to be something. It's just classic ABC Marvel. They're not going to tell you.
Yeah, but did you expect what you saw in the preview? With the lighthouse under attack?
Yes.
Okay.
I will say I expected them to have some sort of peril. It's just, I didn't know what.
Yeah.
And we still don't really know what.
No, because we don't
know
know how long that fight scene actually lasts and when it happens in the show.
And I do like if it is in fact the stuff that's happening on the outside is the giant movie coming out.
Yeah,
we still don't know.
No,
they're not telling us. What a convenient way for other aliens to come in.
Oh yeah,
it's like well, of course. If there is a time to like roam Earth right now, it's this bigger alien.
Yeah, you open the big door, all the little, pests can come in now.
Yep. So, what? Because at best, let's say they did tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people are going to be expecting, is Thanos going to come through the door of the lighthouse? No.
No.
But you kind of did wonder if whatever was attacking him, based on the
Mhm.
synopsis that they release,
Yeah.
will be directly tied to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like not really.
Yeah, and
That's fine.
it's fine, but it did kind of surprise me because I thought that they were coming back to their roots of being connected to the MCU. But
I mean, I guess they are. I mean, granted, if they're hiding from the big thing outside, that's that's about as connected as we can get.
But it's back to it's with their current kind of connected disconnect sort of thing. It's like, yeah, we still exist, but not in the same way like with season 1 and 2. Yeah.
But hey, if you're itching for just a direct connection,
Mhm.
Mr. Clark Gregg posted a picture on the Captain Marvel set.
Okay, yeah.
And it was like, yes!
Yeah.
I don't care if it's in the past!
Yeah.
Coulson is back! He's back in a movie!
I'm wondering if they'll give him more hair, though. What do you think? Because, Clark Gregg has always looked like Clark Gregg to me.
In some ways, I think he has more hair now. I've seen some early work of him, and he kind of has more, but less in some ways.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. Like,
His hair is a paradox.
his hair is like he did like an HBO movie where he played about Mike Tyson, and he played Mike Tyson's sparring coach,
Okay.
and he looked young
Mhm.
because this was made in like early 90s.
Yeah.
He sounds the same, but he looks like freshly young. But his hair just looks that's why it really is like it looks like he has more, but at the same time look a little less. I don't know.
So maybe he has similar genes to Patrick Stewart, where he actually, the older he gets, the younger he looks.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. I actually just think it'd be funny if he just has the exact same hair.
Yeah. He's just regular Coulson.
He is just Coulson.
Yeah.
No need to change.
Doesn't matter what decade he's in.
Yeah, no need to change stuff.
Yeah.
Come on.
Coulson is always Coulson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on.
So-
No need. If it ain't broke.
Right.
How much time do you have left?
About 5 minutes or so.
Okay, so one thing that did come up, I didn't want to introduce it as an icebreaker because it's not really an icebreaker.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention it somehow, and I'm surprised we have not mentioned it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the Wonder Woman person,
Yeah.
you do know they're making a sequel.
Yes.
Generally, what happens when your movie makes a lot of money,
Yeah. Especially if you're a superhero movie.
especially.
Yeah. If Suicide Squad can get a sequel, anybody can.
Well, that's up for debate right now.
Well, yeah, but if they can rumor a sequel.
Yeah. So you are aware of the casting of
Yes.
Wonder Woman 2.
For Cheetah.
And I'm
Yeah.
surprised we haven't talked about it. But, S.H.I.E.L.D. has given a lot. S.H.I.E.L.D. has
Yeah.
been keeping us occupied.
Yeah.
What do you think of the new Cheetah?
I have zero problem with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that she's going to come out because it's Kristen Wiig.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, for some reason I could not think of her name there for a minute. A lot of people seem to assume she's going to come out comedian version of Cheetah.
Yeah.
Because that's Kristen Wiig. She's a hilarious woman.
Yes.
I have no doubt that she'll be able to play this as serious as they need her to. And Cheetah's not 100% serious all the time.
Have you seen Kristen Wiig's more dramatic work?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah, I've only seen her in comedic stuff, but
Well, that's fine.
yeah, it still gives me no doubt. To give a kind of comparison, I would compare her to like Bill Murray.
Okay.
Bill Murray is a funny man.
Yes.
His dry humor is hilarious. His regular humor is extra hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Put him in Lost in Translation, perfect casting.
Mhm.
Not hilarious at all in that movie. Still great actor. And I would put Kristen Wiig in that same category of, I'm not worried about her.
I do hope, just for aesthetically,
Mhm.
because Gal Gadot is
Yeah.
a finely tuned machine.
Yeah.
So because in my recent history of Cheetah, she matches Wonder Woman.
Right.
Just saying, not in a judgment on talent or portrayal in any way.
Yeah.
Just saying, I hope she works out because she needs to, unless,
It needs to be realistic.
yes.
Yeah.
I think her portrayal will be realistic, but
Mhm.
if if it's all CGI,
Yeah.
it's gonna take away.
I mean, if someone like us, the way we look right now, we're going up against Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Nobody would believe we had a fighting chance for
It will-
even
it'll-
a second
Now,
of the
see,
movie.
that will be the comedy people think Kristen Wiig's gonna do.
Right. Yeah. But if we did spend, months bulking up for it and over that, we could make it realistic.
At least,
So, yeah.
for film.
Right. Yeah.
And I know, Kristen Wiig will have a team of stunt women.
Of course. Yeah.
Because that's how it works.
And so does Gal. So
Yeah. It's just, if they're gonna do a square off together,
Mhm.
it's. I hope it's believable.
And make it a better fight scene than in the first Wonder Woman, because that is my only criticism of the first one, is that the big climactic fight scene was just a cookie cutter of every other superhero fight scene.
Well, I think there's a lot of pressure for this because big guy versus smaller hero, you're gonna get those tropes again.
Yeah.
What you were saying, Cheetah versus Wonder Woman needs to be like very finely choreographed.
Yep.
Again, they probably aren't even started. Probably no script.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
And even if they say there is, that doesn't mean it's going to stay whatever they
Exactly.
say it is right now.
Just things that just wanted your opinion on Miss Kristen Wiig.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like when people. This is why I don't fit in fandoms that well.
Okay.
While I am a fan of a lot of things, because I don't make these jump assumptions.
Mhm.
Like with the female Doctor.
Mhm.
I'm going to give her a chance. If I like her, I'm going to keep watching. If not, I'm going to stop watching. But it's going to be based on how she does, not that she is a she.
Yeah.
With Kristen
Well,
Wiig.
luckily with the Doctor, you can just wait till the next one.
Right. Yeah. And with Kristen Wiig, I'm sure Wonder Woman 2 will make enough money. I'll wait till the third one to come out.
Yeah.
She's if they do take Cheetah in a comedic route, I think they'll give that away in the previews.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll know right then, is this something I want to put my money into, or will I just wait? Because I mean, either way, I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
But do I want to put the $10 for a movie ticket down, or wait for it to come digital?
Right.
So,
All right.
I think that about wraps us up for this week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to TeeVo The Beard. Remember, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter.
Our Instagram is TeeVo Podcast.
Same with Twitter.
There you go.
And you can email us any comments, questions, suggestions you have at TeeVoPodcast@gmail.com. And now you can find us on...
Well, obviously, we are on YouTube.
Right.
As, some of you are probably listening on right now. But we are on iTunes.
Yep.
And...
Stitcher.
There you go.
And Google Play.
There you go.
Yep. So you can find us in all sorts of audio formats now.
It's like we're a real podcast.
It only took us 95 episodes to get there.
Woohoo!
So subscribe now.